Well, in just a few minutes, the U.S. Supreme Court expected to hand down its final opinions of the term, and that would include the highly anticipated decision on student loan forgiveness. Meanwhile, President Biden made some waves in his reaction to yesterday's Supreme Court's decisions to end affirmative action in colleges. Listen to this.
President Biden, the Congressional Black Caucus of the Supreme Court has thrown into question its own legitimacy. Is this a rogue court?
This is not a normal court.
He really had to think about that, didn't he? Deroy Murdock joins me now. Deroy, great to see you.
Actually, great to see you.
I say this is not a normal White House. What do you make of the president's comments?
Yeah, it's a rogue White House. How about that? Yeah. Last I checked, I don't believe Justice Kavanaugh and Gorsuch and Coney Barrett broke in and somehow snuck in their opinions, mixed into everything. They were appointed by the previous president, or nominated by the previous president, confirmed by the Senate, and so they have every right to rule the way they did. You can disagree with the decision, but to attack the legitimacy of the court is completely inappropriate, and we'd expect better from the President of the United States than that.
Well, you can expect.
You can expect, but, you know, so much for the delivery.
And what was your take on the ruling?
I think this is good news, especially in this respect. If minority students are not going to be able to rely on their skin color to get into school, but on their merits, then I think this provides an even greater impetus for school choice, even greater impetus for higher expectations. And we can't just say, well, you know, we'll just let them get by on the color of their skin. This means we have all the more reason, all the more urgency to make sure that our schools deliver and have students who will be able to apply and get in based on what they know and not on the way they look.
Yeah,
and I think that's absolutely vital.
Let me ask you about this. The Obamas also weighed in on the High Court's decision. The former president saying this, quote, like any policy, affirmative action wasn't perfect, but it allowed generations of students like Michelle and me to prove we belonged. Now it's up to all of us to give young people the opportunities they deserve and help students everywhere benefit from new perspectives. And by the way, Michelle Obama added this quote, today my heart breaks for any young person out there who's wondering what their future holds. Basically, what they're saying is that students from disadvantaged backgrounds may just now not get an opportunity. How would you respond to that?
I'd say what we need to do is give them the opportunity, and I'll give you a great example from the town where they lived, in Chicago. These are excellent figures from a group called Wire Points. In 2017 in Chicago public schools, total spent per student $15,800. It's now $29,206, almost double. Meanwhile, black student SAT reading proficiency has gone from 18% down to 10%. Ooh. So you're spending more, but remember, you're getting less. And when you have a situation where you're doubling the amount of spending and cutting black student reading by almost in half in a matter of 6 years, appalling. That has to stop. That has to end. And this kind of garbage that's going on in our public schools has to be over. We got to say, look, if you're going to get on your merits, we got to have these kids prepared to get in on their merits. And that means that teachers' unions have to be shut down, and we need to focus on school choice, high standards, and excellence, as opposed to apologies, excuse-making, and corruption, which is what we have today.
It never fails to amaze me, though, Deroy. Not only do these cities, Chicago, you know, the progressive liberal-led cities are, devolving into crime-ridden places where businesses and people are leaving. Same with the teachers' union. What have you done for us recently? Look at these results. How do you explain that? But nothing ever seems to change.
Nothing changes, no. And they've got a complete lock on the Democrat Party. They have them basically bought and paid for.
But why can't voters... The proof is right in front of you.
What voters need to do is stop voting Democrat. The fact is, you vote Democrat and your schools fall apart, you get crime, you get homelessness, you get garbage. You vote Democrat, this is what happens. Show me any city where the Democrats run where things are going well. Show me any state where things have gone better when a Republican leaves, a Democrat comes in. You see it in the White House. So if you keep voting Democrat, you get garbage like
but where's the
You stop voting Democrat and this sort of stuff stops. So it's simple as that. Stop voting Democrat. That's my advice to American people. Stop voting Democrat.
Sandra Day O'Connor warned about this 20 years ago. We're still discussing it. If there is an issue getting qualified students from disadvantaged backgrounds, regardless of their skin color, into college, fix it at the ground level.
That's right.
Elementary school, high school, so they could compete at a higher level. It's not,
You start in kindergarten, you start early.
All
Gotta do better.
People, not just those of a certain race.
All right, we're going to get onto this subject. This will fire up. California's reparations task force just released its final report, but the panel conveniently left out a dollar amount for the potential payments, which is so bizarre. California is facing a $32 billion deficit, oh, by the way, but residents have made it clear they expect big checks. Bring it on. in a way, maybe Governor Newsom has backed himself into a corner. But after all of this, they can't even come up with a figure. I mean,
it's amazing.
Ludicrous.
Yeah, well, again, this is another classic example of the bait and switch from the Democrat Party, especially when it comes to black people. Oh, black folks, vote for us. I'll give you all this good stuff. They get into power and they don't deliver. So again, black people have been betrayed by this. They've gotten everyone excited. Oh, I'm going to get my check for $5 million. Now they say, oh, we don't have the money. So I hope the black voters in California, elsewhere, realize that the Democrat Party is just a grift operation, and they've ripped us off, and they've cheated us since 1824. It's almost 200 years coming up on them abusing us from slavery through Jim Crow and everything else, and continuing through attacking school choice, and now offering people reparations, then taking them back. It's time for the black people of this country to have a full, complete divorce from the Democrat Party.
We'll have to leave it there. Fired up today,
Deroy
Murdock, and a really good conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great to have you here.